Hey, how's it going? It's really good to see you. Hey Alvaro, you really need to stop letting yourself in. Sorry, I'm still really tired. I just got back in yesterday, and pretty much the only thing I've done since then is lay down. Honestly, it's almost like I got home, I didn't do anything else but set my luggage down and then just go to sleep. You didn't do anything else? So, in that case, I have a pretty important question to ask you. How connected to the news were you when you were in Latin America? That's a weird thing to ask. I didn't miss an impeachment or anything, did I? That can't be right, but I mean, your tone. In response to your question, I was working in pretty isolated communities, and I didn't get to hear a whole lot, but on April 1st, I was at an airport, and I got to hear a little bit of news coverage, but honestly, my Spanish must be a lot worse than I thought, because the news that I was hearing was, like, wild, and I must have been misunderstanding it. Or at least that's what I thought, but then when I was on my way home, the Uber driver was talking to me about religion, and she was really passionate, and the stuff that she was saying was kind of apocalyptic. In the 6 or 7 months that you've been gone, an impeachment would have been the least remarkable news story that's broken since. I'm honestly kind of impressed at how detached you were from technology, given that you haven't heard, but Diego, I'm trying to think of the right way to tell you this, because a lot of things have happened since you went on your internship, and this is kind of a different place. It's honestly kind of a good thing that you got home in the middle of the day and then went to sleep and just recovered from mild jet lag, because if you had woken up during the night, come on, Alvaro, you gotta stop acting so serious. I know that whatever happened can't be that big of a deal, otherwise there's no way I wouldn't have heard of it. You're acting like I'm here at the end of a zombie apocalypse. Normally, when I get back home from these internships, you're telling me about the latest ladies or something. What's up? Well, a zombie apocalypse did kind of happen, but that's not the only thing that did. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and say it outright. Monsters are real. And I know that you're probably scoffing internally right now, but yeah, while you were gone, they kind of came out of hiding. Can you come up with a better lie than that? Like, I know that I was in Latin America for a few months and I was relatively disconnected, but there's no way I wouldn't have heard that. If you're gonna lie to me, if you're gonna lie to one of your best friends, you should really do better. You should come up with a more creative lie than that, or at the very least one that could actually be believed, you know? Like, come on. I know that that would be neat as hell if monsters and gods and all that were real. It'd be interesting to explore the dynamics, to explore how that would affect history, to explore how that would affect religion, but you can't prey off of the fact that I met some kooky lady in an Uber, and because of that, like, you try to take advantage of it to make me believe something that's just not true. Look, I know that the idea of magic, gods, and monsters being a secret is basically a trope of urban fantasy, especially young adult urban fantasy at this point, but it's still the world that we live in. Okay, we need to have a conversation. You and I need to have a conversation about the new world, the new country that you've come into. We need to be having several conversations, actually. But look, at the end of the day, it wasn't really a secret. Okay? Crazy religious people, or I guess not so crazy religious people, have been talking about this for centuries, and they got a lot wrong, and believe me, they got a lot wrong, but at the end of the day, the things that they talked about, the existence of gods, of magic, of monsters, those things the basic ideas are there, and they've always been there in mythology and in fantasy. And it's actually interesting that some books kind of got it right. They were approaching the truth, which is a whole other conversation we need to be having, but the reality is that you basically live in a country straight out of a badly written urban fantasy novel right now. And it's important that you learn what's going on, otherwise you will be in danger. We need to have conversations about what you've missed. We need to have conversations about how the reemergence of gods, of monsters, and of old magic into the world is affecting the world. And frankly, it affected Latin America. Like, you weren't magically separated from this. It's just that maybe because of where you were and the work that you were doing, it didn't seem like a huge deal. Maybe it somehow crept up on you, but now that you're back here, you need to know what's up. You seem oddly serious, so I'm going to entertain this idea of yours. Tell me what you think I missed.